Discover the future of AI-powered digital experiences. Adobe Summit is live in Las Vegas March 17th to 20th. If you can't make it to the conference in person, join Summit online free from anywhere. Access inspirational talks from global brand leaders like Coca-Cola, Unilever, Marriott, and more in live-streamed insightful keynotes and Adobe Sneaks, co-hosted by comedian Ken Jeong, plus select from over 30 expert-led sessions. Register for free at adobe.com/go/marketersbrief.
Major League Soccer is a fast-moving sport where the scoring chances can arise suddenly. For soccer's marketers, it's not all that different. Capturing a massive growth opportunity through full-funnel marketing is what we'll discuss this week with Radhika Duggal, Chief Marketing Officer of MLS, on this week's episode of The Marketer's Brief, our weekly discussion of marketing news and trends that have the industry buzzing. Duggal joined MLS less than a year ago after a career with companies like Pfizer and Chase. Though she lacked sports experience, she was an expert at orchestrating comprehensive marketing strategies meant to capture fans along the entire customer journey. At MLS, she's led brand work and a campaign for a new season called Game On, which features testimony from the rapper Doechii. MLS is also celebrating its 30th birthday this year with things like a throwback ball design and patches on team uniforms. But the anniversary is also a chance to look ahead. Apple TV, which broadcasts every MLS game, has a new series called Onside that profiles players and is looking to develop personalized content for fans. We'll also talk about how the 2026 World Cup could spark another soccer growth spurt. I'm John Springer, senior reporter at Ad Age, and this is the Marketer's Brief podcast. Radhika Duggal, welcome to the Marketer's Brief.
Thank you. It's so nice to be here.
Yeah, well, we're really glad you're here. And it's been a while since we talked. I think it was shortly after you began as CMO of Major League Soccer. And you told me then that your soccer experience was limited to watching your daughter's games. So I wondered not about, how much soccer knowledge you may have gained until now and then, but you might remind our readers why they picked you for this role.
I'll tell you a couple of things. First and foremost, I think part of the reason that they chose me for the role is because of that limited soccer experience. Obviously, it's incredibly helpful when you're in a role to have the wealth of experience in the industry. But one of the things that I'm hopeful I can deliver on for Major League Soccer is bringing some of that marketing expertise. And very specifically, full funnel marketing expertise that starts with sort of upper funnel brand work and lends itself into campaigns that drive an action from a consumer. So in my opinion, that's why I have had the opportunity to join Major League Soccer. And thus far, it's been almost a year. It's going really well. I couldn't have asked for a better role.
Yeah, why don't you share a few of your takeaways from the first year? What have you learned about it and what kind of progress have you made so far?
I'll say, I've had an incredibly rewarding first almost year. First and foremost, one of the best pieces of this was I joined a team of fully functioning, passionate, excited marketers who are just experts in their field and so committed to growing the sport, the league, and our players. Quite frankly, as I compare across other organizations that I've had an opportunity to be in, that passion is unique. It's one of a kind, and it's so incredible to witness. And it manifests in our day jobs, in the work that we do, in the culture that we're building. The second thing that I think is really interesting is the soccer ecosystem has this incredible sense of collaboration, both within the league as an enterprise, so across league and clubs, but also just outside of it. I find so interesting that everybody connected to the sport is so passionate about building the sport. And that connection and that sense of camaraderie within a whole industry, I think is really fascinating because I think everyone is really just committed to making sure this sport can bring everything it can to the North American market.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a sense of mission around soccer, right? There's I don't want to say a sort of desire to kind of bring it up to, in parity with the other major sports leagues, that kind of thing, right?
There absolutely is. And that's really, truly unique, especially as I compare to some of my prior roles.
Yeah. So this year, I know that we've heard a lot about this so far. This is the 30th anniversary of MLS, and I know you've got a lot of things planned. I wonder if you can kind of talk about kind of overview of sort of why that's important to highlight this year and how you're going about it.
Yeah, this is going to be an incredible year for Major League Soccer. As you mentioned, we're celebrating our 30th season, and we just announced our Game On campaign, which is the next chapter of the Our Soccer campaign, which has been running for years. Game On, though, was developed in celebration of that 30th season. It was meant to represent that huge energy that fans feel when they watch our sport in stadium or on broadcast or even on highlights on social. We kicked off the campaign at the end of January, first with a robust PR campaign, but that really focused on Grammy-nominated artist Doechii, as you may know. We continue that campaign with a linear ad in the Super Bowl on February 9th. We surrounded that linear ad with digital marketing, and that campaign continues not only in linear, not only in digital, but with our third-party distribution partners throughout our owned and operated channels, through partners and sponsors. It's so exciting to see some of the plans for that 30th season come to life.
She brought a lot of sort of urgency to her message, didn't she?
Yeah, listen, there's nothing like having the opportunity to have someone who was a fan of your product as a child. So Doechii was a youth soccer player, kind of try to bring your message to life. And especially nothing like it when their stardom is growing and their fan base is growing. It's just such a wonderful way for us to connect with a growing audience.
What creative agencies are you working with on this project?
Yeah, so the primary agency we worked with on that campaign from a creative perspective is Cornerstone. They're our agency that we work with typically on these kinds of projects. But I also have to say, just huge, huge, huge kudos to our creative team. We have a new creative director. We have a number of folks on the creative team who just, as I mentioned before, have such passion for the sport, and it shows up in their work.
Good. And so the 30th anniversary, I wonder if you can kind of muse for a moment on what 30 years means for a sporting franchise.
We've spent a lot of time internally talking about this idea that we're 30 years young, right? It's one thing to celebrate a birthday, but we are so, so, so excited for what's ahead. And so where typically you might have seen a 100-year anniversary, a look back, etc., we're really focused on what's to come. In 30 years, we had the ability to launch 30 clubs, right? Our current last club that we launched just last weekend was San Diego. We are just so psyched about what's to come. And for us, that's what it really means. It's about looking forward at all of the momentum that we have to build on. And listen, we're trying to do that through, again, a full funnel go-to-market strategy. So we talked about the Game On campaign. We've just launched Onside with Apple TV. That's a docu-series that basically highlights our players, and it's a look at their lives, and it's great, great content. And we just have so many of these touch points laid out over the course of the beginning of the season to highlight the excitement that's ahead for Major League Soccer.
Yeah. And, the other thing I was going to say, if you do look back, right, it's a couple of things come to mind. One was that I think MLS launching shortly after the 94 World Cup kind of brought some soccer energy to the US, right? And I know you've got some things like you've got like the ball style this year is reminiscent of the style back in 94, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of great activations to your point that are coming up. We did launch that season match ball at the beginning of the year. We just had jersey launch. We have this incredible slate of content. And to your point, some of that is to pay homage to the past, but we're so excited about the look forward.
We spoke or we exchanged email, I guess, back at late last year on predictions for the marketing world in 2025. And you discussed predictive analytics giving marketers the ability to hyper target consumers. I wonder if you can kind of talk about that and how much of that is going on in MLS today.
Yeah, so data and research are at the heart of everything we do, and it's because we need to, right? As marketers, we have to keep a pulse on our target audience. And you know better than I do, our target audience and every company's target audience is changing day by day as they're reacting to the stimuli in the world around them, as they're which is, by the way, changing really quickly. So we have a really great strategy and analytics team, and they help us to analyze the data behind our marketing, right? What's working, what's not. We also have a really great market research team. And I think the combination and the strength of having market research as a foundation to build marketing upon, and then in-market testing and robust analytics to say, hey, that one's working, make that your champion. That one's not. Maybe we should move on and challenge it with something else. That combination is unbeatable. And we're just really fortunate to have both of those teams in place helping to power our marketing. And a great example of this is the full funnel marketing campaign that continues to be our Game On campaign. That linear TV spot and much of our digital, it drives consumers to one of a couple of different messaging options on different websites. And we are using this opportunity to really understand what messaging resonates with consumers. Everything we launch should be an opportunity to learn.
Okay, so you're saying that this campaign will send to consumers to different places or to respond to different messages?
Exactly. We're essentially testing how do we talk about one of our products in the most effective way. And so this campaign sends half the consumers to one version of a site that uses messaging in a certain way. By the way, that messaging is based on robust qualitative and quantitative research. And half the consumers go to another version of the site that uses slightly different messaging. And our goal is to continually be testing what messaging resonates the best as measured by engagement with those two different modals. And it's going to be really exciting to see what wins. And then again, we'll come out of that with here's our champion, and we'll continue to test, continue to refine, continue to build on those learnings so that everything we put in front of consumers, we feel like will really resonate with them.
Great. We're with Radhika Duggal of Major League Soccer, and we'll be right back after this.
If you can't make it to Las Vegas for Adobe Summit March 17th through 20th, join Summit Online to access free live-streamed events and select sessions from anywhere. Explore how leveraging AI can help you deliver exceptional customer experiences, drive efficiency, and prove measurable impact. Get an exclusive first look at never-before-seen technology during the popular Adobe Sneaks showcase, co-hosted by actor and comedian Ken Jeong. Visit adobe.com/go/marketersbrief to register for free.
We're back with Radhika Duggal of Major League Soccer. And Radhika, I wanted to ask about how MLS is approaching fan engagement, maybe differently than other sports leagues.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I really think Major League Soccer is special because we're really focused on to the conversation we were just having, understanding our customer and using that as the basis of how we engage fans. You know, if you look at our in-stadium environment, our match environments are like nothing you've ever seen. So I attended my first match probably just before we spoke the last time, the weekend before I started at Major League Soccer, and I had the opportunity to go to Red Bull Stadium in New Jersey. It's, you know, a 30-minute PATH train ride out of the city. And it was such an incredible experience. The way the players look on pitch, it was a rainy day and it was just so beautiful to see their uniforms and the green of the pitch. The food experience in so many of our stadiums that are built really replicate the food environment in the city. I feel like sometimes they bring the best of the city's food scene into the stadium. These stadium environments are just incredible. They're fun. And by the way, when we hear from fans, why do they choose Major League Soccer? The thing that they say is, we come to you because you're fun. And so I just think our stadium environment really brings to life the primary thing fans want from us. And similarly with broadcast, our broadcast production environment, it's just second to none. So I think that the league does a ton to really focus on trying to understand what do customers want from us and really deliver it in a big way.
Okay. What else would you say, in your opinion, MLS does any better than other sports? For example, how does MLS differentiate itself from NFL or NBA or even the international soccer leagues?
It starts with understanding our customer and how our customer is different from those customers. So, for example, we have the youngest and most diverse fan base in North American professional sports, and we really build our entertainment approach around that group. So we focus on building emotional connections with consumers. By the way, we are doing some research right now to really try to understand how do you build fans? What makes someone a fan of the MLS? What are the 3 needs that you need to fulfill? I'm making up a number. And what are the outcomes that we should be driving people towards? Maybe it's go to a match, maybe it's watch on broadcast, maybe it's sign your kid up for youth soccer, whatever those things are. And what I think is really interesting and unique is we're really focused on through that research, building that emotional connection, making sure we engage across multiple touch points, making sure we're showing up in the right ways, again, based on that data. And I think that that is really unique because we're laser focused on our target customer and serving that group of folks.
The youngest and most diverse audience in sports is a pretty unique opportunity for you.
It's great. And we also have a really young player cohort. And what's very cool about that, the brand we're building can resonate with both. And I think that that's really exciting.
Attendance last year was 12.1 million, I believe. What is MLS doing to make sure the fans get the message that the games are worth attending?
Yes.
And we talked a little bit about that already.
We love that our fans are so passionate and they're excited to attend the in-stadium experience. And what we do is we really, from a marketing perspective at least, we focus on planning around these big moments, roughly 5 or 6 of them across the season. And in those 5 or 6 big moments, we're focused on full funnel marketing, blowout marketing campaigns in those moments because you can highlight the best soccer and you can do it with great upper funnel marketing, right? Like the Game On campaign, like the spot with Dochi. But we're trying to be really concerted of what is that upper funnel message and then how does it pull through across a full funnel so that in those moments we have a multi-channel campaign in place that not only drives awareness but captures that awareness and encourages fans to convert in some way, shape, or form.
When you talk about a blowout marketing campaign, can you give me an example?
Yeah, so I think that Game On campaign is a great example. When I say that, what I mean is
Mhm.
just a connection, right? You're doing great upper funnel marketing. It drives the consumer to a place that will make sense based on their entry point. And we are asking them to continue to take more and more actions with us. We know that from that fandom research, fans aren't made overnight. Consumers have to have one touch point after the next touch point after the next touch point. And what we really do is we use those full funnel marketing campaigns to bring folks into the ecosystem, serve up those research back touch points, and help folks build that connection with MLS over time.
So sponsorship was up by 13% on the league and club levels last year, according to a report I saw. One, is that sound accurate to you? And what can brands get from partnering with MLS?
That's absolutely right. Our partners, they get a lot, right? They get access to, remember, that younger, more diverse league or that younger, more diverse audience, which is really exciting. It's a coveted audience of folks. And we're really focused on serving our sponsors with the breadth and depth of our marketing engine. So, for example, we're really focused on creating new occasions for folks. So, we just launched Sunday Night Soccer presented by Continental Tire this past Sunday, which is really exciting. And what we do in order to launch a new property like that with an incredible sponsor partner is we take the breadth of our marketing engine and we say, how do we use every tactic at our disposal, every channel at our disposal to make sure we are driving awareness for this new occasion for folks to consume soccer? So really excited to be able to work with incredible sponsors. By the way, these are our partners, and to use the asset we bring to the table, Major League Soccer and our IP and our incredible players to build their brands as well.
How has that Apple TV deal reshaped the league's media strategy and your engagement with fans?
I think we're incredibly pleased to have a partner such as Apple. And the one thing I'll say is I had the opportunity to sit with some of the leaders at Apple earlier this week, and I think they're here to help. I know they're here to help. We're here to be partners with each other. And if you're going to be a partner with a company out there in the world today, what a wonderful partner to have. They have scale, they have the attention of our consumer. And I think they're going to be perfect partners and continue to be perfect partners, especially as we think about the media landscape evolving. When you think about direct to consumer marketing, what a company to be a partner with, right? Apple has a lock on a lot of those consumers, right? They're able to communicate with them directly, and we then get to be part of that messaging set. You also think about localized content and broadcasting, and with all of that, because we have Apple as a partner, we're able to provide personalized content over time to consumers. It's just a really nice partnership that's going to enable us to build our brand and hopefully introduce more soccer to more folks throughout the US and Canada, and really globally because it is a global partnership.
Yeah. What do you know about MLS's ability to deliver Apple new customers? In other words, what do you know about your fans signing up?
Yeah. Well, listen, we know that it is our fans who are going to sign up for season pass, right? Full stop. And we're really excited about the marketing strategies that we have in place to make sure that we are talking to our fans, sharing the value proposition of season pass very directly, very clearly. By the way, we A/B test that work. We make sure that messaging really resonates. And we're really pleased with the outcome of making sure that our fans have access to our product.
A little bit of an on-field question here. Messi is such a phenomenal drawing card and a wonderful representative for MLS. Would you consider, or is the league considering trying to get more of these kind of athletes like this? Or do you see MLS as sort of a donor to other leagues of talent?
I would definitely say I do not consider us a donor of other, of talent to other leagues. To your point, we have Messi, we have Giroud, we have all of these players that are making MLS their league of choice, and we continue to attract more and more world-class talent. Our clubs, just this past offseason, they're spending more money than ever before on player transfers. We're seeing a mix across the board of young players and more seasoned athletes choosing to come and play with the MLS. And listen, from a marketing perspective, we really love this diversity of athletes that choose us. It makes for great stories and stories that resonate with different kinds of consumers.
Yeah, there's the young player from Philadelphia. I can't remember his name
Adam
offhand.
Sullivan,
Yeah. How old is he?
15.
Amazing. So
Incredible, right?
yeah, yeah. So what's ahead for MLS? Any thoughts on sort of how the league is planning to sort of draft off the World Cup and do some other things that are up in the future for us?
Yeah, listen, I couldn't be more excited to talk to you about our World Cup plan. Actually, in my meeting prior to this was to share some of our thoughts around a marketing plan for 2026. And it is going to be so incredibly exciting. We continue to meet with FIFA to discuss plans. We're creating plans for ourselves and our clubs. We think that there's really something to going to market as an enterprise to localizing our campaigns and making sure that across our 31 marketing engines, because we have 31 marketing engines, league and all of our clubs, that we take the fullest advantage of 2026, that we have a banner year next year, and that we use that momentum into 27 and 28 and beyond.
What can other brands learn from MLS?
As someone who was not a sports marketer, I think that there's something just really incredible about the volume of content that we create and the speed in which we create it. So we've got folks creating content to be distributed across a huge volume of channels: social, website, app, MLS Season Pass on broadcast, third-party distribution partners. And it's all live content, right? Like a lot of what we create is match highlights, match clips, telling player stories. And those things all happen in the moment. And I think that speed at which we do that, it's incredible. It's something to be admired, and it's really a credit to our amazing team.
And finally, what brands or organizations are you personally looking for inspiration?
I am obsessed with many brands out there. Liquid Death is one of my favorite. I just find fascinating that they've created a brand out of a commodity product. And I think they've done it in a couple of ways. The brand strategy that they bring to market, it's just really unique, especially for a water brand. It uses humor and irreverence. It really, really stands out. Like, look at the name, it's Liquid Death. Sustainability, right? They have a commitment to something. Theirs is focused on environmental sustainability with their product itself, right? Using aluminum cans and not plastic. That is part of the brand that they're building. They, I believe, have created a brand that resonates with their target audience. They clearly know their audience. Marketing campaigns are funny and quirky. So I just, the combination of the branding, the sustainability focus, the knowledge of the customer, how they bring that to life through campaigns, I think it's something to be admired.
Yeah, no doubt. Any others?
So many others. We could go through sort of a laundry list, but I think actually potentially equally important is how a lot of brands are thinking to transition over time. And I think Pfizer, for example, is a really interesting example. Totally not a consumer product necessarily, but they're starting to introduce their brand to consumers really for the first time in many years. They had a consumer-focused Super Bowl commercial that was about Pfizer itself, as opposed to about the medications they're trying to sell, really like tugged at your heartstrings. I think watching brands evolve to react to consumer behavior and react to the changing market is fascinating.
And with that, we're out of time. So I really appreciate you coming on here. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you so much for having me.
That was my discussion with Radhika Duggal, Chief Marketing Officer of Major League Soccer, and I'm John Springer, Senior Reporter at Ad Age. I'd like to thank you for listening and thank our producer, Lauren Chiardio, and remind you that you can subscribe to the Marketer's Brief wherever you get your podcasts. That's all for this week. We'll see you next time.
Marketer's Brief listeners get $40 off an adage.com subscription. Sharpen your marketing edge and visit adage.com/brief for your discount.